We all set?
Just give it 1 second.
Okay, take your time.
You're all set.
Okay, thanks. I'd like to call the meeting of the naming committee to order at, what is it, 5:32? Somewhere in there.
Something like that.
Good
Uh,
enough.
Is there any public participation? I don't see any public, so,
We'll do the roll call first.
okay, sorry. I'm jumping without the agenda. Okay, I see it on the screen. Okay, good. Go ahead.
Okay. I'll do it. Counselor Mankey,
Here.
Counselor Annist,
Here.
Counselor Donahue,
Here.
Keith Chapman.
Here.
Okay. I believe Beth is on here too.
I believe so.
I'm just here as a ex officio, yes.
So I actually have the policy and procedures. Do you guys want me to pull those up on the screen?
No, we covered that. I think we covered that pretty well last,
Okay.
I think we met actually November, right? November 19th.
Right before Thanksgiving.
Yeah, and then the holidays got in our way and that ended that. So
Right.
Okay, let me know if you need them.
I think we're set with the policies. I think the issue we're talking about is some way to acknowledge people who make not great crime, but contributions to the town instead of naming rooms after them or putting up a monument. We have some kind of a way to memorize, to memorialize those people.
Right. I think we left it that they were going to look, Keith and James was going to look to see what was out there. They had some samples of the trees and we were
Yeah.
going to get some kind of dollar amount number to attach to it, an estimate.
Yeah, I have to apologize. I left that for James and I don't believe he's completed that.
Okay. Because I think that's where we left it. Because I think we kind of know where we want to go, but it's just now trying to figure out what it's going to look like and the price.
Right. I think that's it. And then where in the town
Where-
hall? does
Yeah.
it go?
But you guys, when you said down by the registrar's office across from NCTV, that wall,
That's a pretty long wall. We could do it
Yeah.
there, I think.
and that can go on for perpetuity. I mean, that can just,
Yeah.
for the next 70 years or however long the town hall is going to stay standing.
I think probably we should at some point though, make some kind of criteria. So, if I serve on the Conservation Commission for 4 years, can I use that? Or if I serve on the town council for 20 years, are those equal? There has to be some way of getting people on the wall instead of just saying, hey, I want to be on the wall, put me on the wall. And I don't want to have it where I want to get on the wall, so I'm going to here's $300 for my brass plaque and put it on. So we have to have some way of some criteria for how people get on that wall. Who picks them? Who puts them on there?
And would there be like a nominating committee or something?
It'll be the naming committee.
Yeah, or us,
Probably.
right?
It would probably come to the naming committee.
Because we're the ones that decide who should go on. If somebody wants to go on, the application comes to us and then we decide.
I would think so, yeah.
I mean, previously, so I would think the same would hold true going forward, but you're right, we need to come up with some criteria. I mean, if you serve on conservation for 40 years, yeah, I think that's a great contribution to the town. If you're on the council for 2 years, no, and isn't
Right.
there plaques for the council anyhow?
Well, I mean, there are plaques, I assume, but then every time we're going to run out of room to put all these plaques.
No, but I thought there was plaques for the council. With the
I'm pretty
council.
sure I have them in my office.
Okay.
That's
It's just
correct,
like,
there are.
like Board of Ed has, and in their room, they have anybody who served on the Board of Ed and your name, and for your period. I mean, and it goes back to the early 1900s, or I think. And that plaque didn't take up that much room. So I thought we had the same thing for council members too. So I don't, serving on the council, I don't think you would go on your wall of trees. These are people out in the community who have contributed that we need to recognize that aren't recognized in another way.
Yeah.
The plaques that I have in my office go back to like 1967, and they have each four-year term has a list of the members of the council.
Yeah, there's like one thing and it has all the counselors for every 2 years. Yeah,
Okay.
that's what I thought there was there. So those were in the auditorium, right?
They were, I think, right.
Yeah, on the back wall by the
Back
door
wall.
of the auditorium. That's where they were.
And those could go in the council chambers,
Right.
you know, because I don't want to, I don't want to kind of, you know, muck up the way the place looks by having all these little plaques. It just, I think it kind of, I like the kind of the clean lines of it now, but you know, some kind of a tree with leaves going down that hallway would be good.
Right.
And it's a good way to kind of do that. So Keith, can you check with James where we stand on prices?
I will. Let me just say, if I may, I think that you, as a committee, I think what I would suggest you focus in on is not an individual that serves a particular board or commission, but I think if somebody takes the time to serve on any board or commission, once you identify which boards and commissions have earned the right to be identified, I think you should just set the policy that if you serve, for an example, like the council, for years you've had the plaques for the council, you should have similar things or names of some, you know, you need to identify who, not who, but what agencies and committees deserve having their name on the wall.
Okay.
And not get into, you know, well, Joe Blow did a great thing for us last year, he should be on the wall.
Right.
You know, because if you leave somebody out that has worked diligently, that's offensive. Where, you know, I mean, they just think if the council plaques limited, didn't have one of the counselors on it, I mean, that would not be good. So I think you really have to be sensitive to
Right.
making sure that you don't leave anybody out, even if it's a person nobody likes.
Well, this is where it gets difficult because, I mean, I'm thinking about Maureen Klett, how many years she had in politics, right? So if we say it's a certain number of years, then, okay, so then I'm like, oh, okay, I gotta put in 2 more years so I can get my name up on that wall. I'm gonna stick around. Like, I don't know. It's kind of arbitrary to set a number of years. It's so hard to set a criteria.
Yeah, I wouldn't. If you're appointed to a committee
Just
and that
put
committee
you
is,
get a leaf.
yeah, I mean, if the committee is one that should be recognized, then if you're on the committee, then you should be recognized as well. And there are people that go on committees that unfortunately get sick and have to get off, or they have other reasons they have to leave committees. And I just think you want to be careful not to leave anybody out that is deserving of recognition. And it should be by the work of the committee or the commission that they're on, not the individual work they do. If you want to recognize somebody for their individual work, maybe that should be in a different area. or a
Okay.
different law.
Oh, I get it. And I mean, that's why I think we're going this way too, is because, you know, if you want to recognize an individual for something outstanding, we ran out of rooms, or we're going to run out of rooms. And that's not fair 5 years down the road if somebody does something very extraordinary for our community or our town, and there's nothing else to name. So I think that's why we're going this route. And so I agree. So if we select certain, you know, the boards and commissions, then your name automatically gets a leaf, no matter if you serve for 6 months or if you serve for 20 years. And, you know, but the thing is, if you're serving, like I've served on so many different boards and commissions, but I would just get one
Yeah.
leaf.
Right.
Just so my name is up there for perpetuity.
But it wouldn't say what you're up there for.
Right. Well, how could you do that? Because if somebody, if I'm on the council, but I was, vice chair of TPZA and I was vice chair of ZBA, and the leaf is only so big. And how many leaves do you want to give a person if they keep?
Well, we talked that the leaf would also have a number on it, so you could then go to that number and we'd have a little bio of why you're there.
Yeah, and that's a good idea. And,
And
that could even be on a monitor that you could somehow touch and put the number in, and that person rolls up.
We could, or you just go on the town website and pop it up, that way.
People won't do that.
Well,
Do
I
we
know.
really want to make, you're getting into where it's going to be a lot of work and a lot of people and a lot to keep up with. If you're
Yeah, that's-
recognizing every commissioner of every commission, look at that list and how many that is each term.
There's a
Yeah.
lot of the same people, though. It's a
Um,
lot of the same. If you look
I
at that
don't know.
list. it's a
I just
lot
don't
of the
think that
same
serving
people.
on a commission for a term warrants having your name on a wall somewhere. I don't know.
Yeah, I kind of look at this more as a sort of a Hall of Fame kind of thing where, I may be a quarterback and played for a couple of years, but that doesn't make me Hall of Fame eligible because I didn't play enough years or I didn't have enough wins or whatever.
Right, I mean, like, it would be like the people who got, like the Tom Tallard and that kind of stuff. Would that be what you were thinking of for a Leaf? He got, I don't even know, I can't remember.
Well, he's been
Remember.
recognized by Parks and Rec, and he's going to get a plaque.
Right, but it could be.
Same
Yeah, but
thing,
that's,
right?
yeah. Or,
It could.
Yeah.
It could be part of that. So yeah, I think a list of the boards and commissions would be good someplace, but I don't think that would qualify. I wouldn't think anyway that would qualify for a Leaf or whatever Leaf and Acorn, whatever we're using.
I think we
that's right.
continue with the plaques in the boardrooms.
That would be everybody. So we could just continue with the plaques, for the council and for the Board of Ed. And some commissions, they don't meet that often. So
no, they need as needed basis.
yeah.
And some of them don't even.
So if you served on the ethics committee, would that get you a plaque? They
Yeah.
probably they haven't met in 2 years, so they may be on there, but that doesn't get them a.
Well, ZBA hasn't met either, so I think they met once in 2 years. Nobody's appealing anymore. They're not.
Right.
When I was on ZBA, it was
sorry.
constant. It was
I-
constant.
I
When
was going with a different,
When I was
I
on
was going with a
Fair Rec,
different kind of
constant
appealing.
met.
I wonder, Keith, you know how other towns handle this? They must have the same.
I can only tell you that all the towns that I've worked for, the only naming of people on the walls that I've ever seen are town councilors, mayors. Once in a while I've seen in like a planning and zoning committee room where you'll have planning and zoning members, but most of the committees don't get that type of recognition. Which kind of, I was thinking as you were all talking, what is driving this naming committee? Is it that people that have served say, well, geez, I never got any recognition, or is this, what's driving it?
I guess the big thing is people, when we went to the new town hall, people wondered would the same rooms be named for the same people?
Yeah, a room name is, I think, a different thing than having a plaque of boards and commissions. I can tell you right now, and I can't tell you who, but I've just been approached that if it works out, we are going to have the ability to have a very popular world-known person that will actually come to this town and basically if the town dedicates a wall or a portion of a wall to this person, they're going to come and speak at the presentation.
Okay.
It's a big event. Now, how does that compare to somebody serving on, EDC or,
Right.
so I think you really have to go back to the question, why are you doing this? What is driving it? And what do you want to accomplish? Do you get complaints from people that served for 10 years that don't get recognized, or is it more? I mean, when somebody serves, don't they at the end of their term get recognized by the council and they get a proclamation and so forth?
Only if it's a long period of time. So if you're on
No.
conservation for a while, you get.
No, we did not do that. That wasn't done.
See,
What about the
that's,
chairs?
What wasn't done?
The conservation.
Yeah, no, Roy, we didn't do it at council, but Roy wrote.
Roy went to the
Right.
commission meeting, right?
Yeah.
It wasn't done at
Yeah.
the council table.
Right. So, but
Right.
it's the same thing. They got they got something from the mayor.
see, I would
Don't-
think that if you
That's not
serve,
norm.
if you served on a board or commission, and maybe what we need to do is have that better organized, that when someone serves and then they get off, whether they're not reappointed or whether they choose to get off or whatever, that should be an automatic flag that they are to be recognized by the council at a council meeting and a proclamation provided to them. Now, most people that get those would take them home, they'd be proud of them, they'll show the kids and their grandkids and everything. But
Yeah.
whether those people really care whether their name's on a wall in the town
You're right.
hall, I don't know.
Okay.
It
So we
makes
set
an
up-
easier way to deal with all those boards and commissions, just making a commitment that when you serve, the day you get off or the month you get off or the year you get off, the council will be recognizing through proclamation all of those people that served that year or whatever.
So say, we could say, so if you serve on the TPZ for more than 10 years, the minute you get off, we would recognize you.
Or you could do it for anybody that serves any amount of time.
Right.
You know,
You
there's,
can't really put a time limit, because if you become ill and have to get off,
and you
you'll
don't
say,
wanna-
Jesus, I have one more, I gotta serve 2 more years so I can get that proclamation.
yeah, I would do it for anybody that serves the town, you know, for
We would
any,
have to have a special meeting
Yeah, right. Because you could have a lot of people.
every December, a special meeting to acknowledge,
but if you
Either
made
that or
it,
get rid of half of the committees.
well, that would be the other good thing.
Yeah, that would work. Yeah.
Quite a few.
But if you made it an annual event, we'll say, then it becomes a standard operating procedure and everybody knows that they're going to get a proclamation. You know, now if you serve on the council, you know, usually I think we used to give out chairs for all of the councilors.
Yeah.
Right. They still do, yeah.
But your role here is you are the controllers of the future of this town. Now, a lot of these boards and commissions don't have that type of status.
Correct.
Right.
Yeah.
So, you know, I think certainly the council should be recognized in a different way. But, you know, I think you have to look at your boards and commissions and decide if any others should be recognized that way as well. I mean, you have project building committees that come and go. Now, in the case of the town hall, we'll just say the project building committee should be identified somewhere in the town hall if they served on that committee. And some type of a plaque. I think there is a plaque that I saw a draft on a while back or something.
Yeah, there is.
Yeah. I think usually there's a plaque whenever the schools get renovated or a building gets renovated. It's a plaque saying I served, you know,
Right.
so
Yeah,
served
it
on.
has
the building
Board
committee.
of Ed, yeah, it has whoever was on it.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. So we could just put something in place that, you know, that just serve, if you serve on a commission, you know, every December, we recognize people who served on whatever board and commission.
I think, you know, that way, you know, the family can come to the meeting. They get the paper, they can put it on their office wall at home or whatever they want, and it's there forever for them.
No, we could also do is post-COVID, we could do like a little reception, like the Parks and Rec does before they do the volunteer of the year thing they do. Just have like a little reception and do it at that reception, so it's not taken up, you know, a couple hours of our council meeting.
We
You know,
could,
reading all the proclamations and speaking, and you could do something like that.
That would eliminate your need to have a big wall that gets expensive.
Yeah, you're right. And that'll save money.
Yeah.
Okay.
and that would, if you make it an annual thing, then it's, you know, let's say you do it in December, usually committees change over by then. Well, maybe not, maybe.
Yeah,
maybe-
most of them are November 30th.
So you do it in January. And all those people who serve get, you know, we have a cake and coffee kind of thing.
Yep.
We read off the names for help. Thank you for serving on this commission and give them a piece of paper and out they go. And it's one quick thing.
Like a certificate of appreciation. Yeah.
Yeah. Some kind of a note, a proclamation, something we could, you know, just give them. Yeah. So we would recognize only those people leaving the committee, or everybody
No, just leaving.
leaving. Okay.
Could you imagine doing everybody?
Well, that's
Every year? No, I personally would think just leaving the commission. Who aren't reappointed or decide to resign or resign during the year.
Yeah,
Right.
for whatever reason they're leaving, and if unfortunately they passed away, then you would invite the spouse.
Family. Yeah, post. Okay, that works for me.
Okay.
Well, we can write that up into the format have you take a look at it and get that out of the way. So if you were to do that, then you're really looking at, okay, what do you want to do with the town hall to recognize the town council? You've had plaques before. Do you want to continue that, or do you want a wall? You know,
I think, yeah. Maybe you just put everybody's name who served in the years they served.
That's what it is.
So instead of doing a new plaque every year, just put the names up.
They're not, they're little plates.
Okay,
that
little
go on a
little
plaque.
plates. Okay.
It's a plate that goes on a plaque. So
So it's small. Yeah.
yeah, it's not like a plaque for every, it's tastefully done. I mean, the Board of Eds is tastefully done too.
That works.
Shows the mayor and then, everybody for those 2 years.
Okay.
so Carol, what's been happening in the past is what you would suggest we continue with as far as the council goes?
Yeah, I think so. I don't know if it's been upkept.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
I don't remember seeing it.
What does the plaque go to?
I'll take a look.
Okay.
And it's just a matter of where you would want to install these plaques. Whether you want to do it in the council chambers, which, is where I've seen most of them.
Right.
It's recognizing. their
That's
thing.
where they were too.
Yeah.
Right. I think it should be in the council
They're
chambers.
up to date. The last one was 17 to 19,
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah.
Okay,
but that's the last one and the last space. So we're gonna have to start a new one.
okay. That's
Beth, could you grab that latest one and show us what it looks like?
Sure. I'm gonna have to use my muscles.
I'm glad they're up to date. That's good.
What, her muscles or the plaques?
You know what though? Wouldn't it be nice to have,
Okay, so that's how it works. So it's just a little rectangle that's added on
They're
year
just-
after year with all the names.
wouldn't it be
One
nice though? to have-
at the top that has like the town seal and an explanation. And then there's two smaller rectangle ones that are probably about half the size of this, I guess, a little wider. And then there's this one that's a totally different formation. So I don't know in what array they had them, but they're all kind of differently shaped.
But I think that would be nice, and then do the mayor's pictures with the council plaques, instead of having the mayor pictures somewhere separate, put them all together.
I think you're right. I think that should all be together.
Yeah.
And the council chambers is a good spot for it because
And we
it's
got, right, and there's that wall. Ooh,
it's where the business takes place that,
right.
you
Well, hopefully someday.
someday.
Well, the NCTV's in there right now.
Yeah, I'll get my stuff on.
Yeah, get your
Yeah,
stuff
yeah.
out of there. Out of there.
We're gonna
Outta
start
there.
with red,
Okay, so, but what are we gonna do now, though, with the rooms that were named at the old town hall? Are we gonna,
Well, I mean, the Helen Nelson
we
room
got-
sign's already up.
right, but that, yeah, but I mean, you had, the TPZ room, the Kurt Ambler room. But that was the TPZ room that was in the music wing of the town hall, the old
Right.
town hall. So what are we gonna do with Bill Reynolds, naming the rotunda after him? I mean, so what are we gonna do with that? If the family comes forth and say, hey, that room used to be named, after this person,
Yeah,
now you're not naming it. I think that's what
Well,
led us to the tree. I think that's what started
I
the tree
think-
discussion.
I think my theory would be that, we named a room, but the room got torn down. So did the naming, unfortunately. I mean, wasn't sure we would have named the community center, the Mortenson Community Center again. We might want to name it something else, but
But
No.
those people that had rooms named after them could be the founding Leafs. They could be the first ones on the tree, maybe, to commemorate them, because they were already intended to be honored in perpetuity. Like Helen Nelson, did we name the room after Helen Nelson because it was part of the?
The sign is up for the Helen Nelson room.
Yeah.
In the new town hall. So
They
their
just carried the
entrance
sign
says
over.
Helen Nelson.
Okay, well, and I don't know if it was named that way because that's why we asked why the gym was named, and it was because it was named that way in the referendum language or whatever.
Right, but that's how we got to the tree thing. So instead of putting the person's name on the room, we were putting the person's name on the tree, and then I think we just kind of snowballed it.
Yeah.
But now we have to come with a criteria of who goes on the tree if we're going to do the tree.
Right.
What kind of service do you have to do to the town?
It's hard to-
Right, 'cause I think there still should be some way to recognize somebody who served the town in whatever capacity. It may not be in a board commission, may not be in the council, but, you know, they may have been, I don't know, a volunteer at one of the historic homes forever, or done work on, contributed some money to some cause, you know, but we should have some way of recognizing those people, but. So,
Right, but we have to come up with a criteria.
Yeah.
To put them. to
well,
put
let's,
all these-
before we do that, let's see how much this tree is gonna cost us. If it's gonna cost us, you know, $1 bazillion and it's not, I'll write their name on, you know, on,
We'll pen it. We'll use a
Right.
Sharpie on the wall.
we'll use a Sharpie on the wall. We can, every couple of years, we paint over it and start again.
The John Donahue Memorial Urinal. I can
Yeah,
tell
there you go.
Hey, if you pay enough money, we'll name it after you.
you. Okay,
Just like what happened in Danbury with their dump or whatever. Their
yeah,
trash
right,
waste.
yeah. You know, Carol's gonna get solar panels named after her.
I sure am. If that ever, yeah, probably about 20 years from now, I'll have solar panels. named after me.
What's the significance of the solar panels for you?
Oh, for the Bill Pond pool, I suggested to heat the pool so they have a longer period of time, that we put solar panels on top of the building to heat the
Okay.
pool. So they said it was a fabulous idea. So I said, I just want one solar panel named after me.
Okay,
And the helicopter ride to see it.
And the helicopter ride to see
Yeah,
it.
right.
I mean,
Okay,
you know, I could talk to Leon David off. I mean, he's on West Hartford Council. Maybe he knows what the town does for, you know, naming stuff.
Or how, I think it's how they recognize their
Right.
Volunteers.
they're outstanding volunteers, not just somebody who just volunteered, you know,
Right.
I worked a half an hour at a food bank someplace.
Right, somebody that goes beyond the normal
Right.
call of a volunteer.
Okay.
And I mean, and the senior center does their own volunteers.
Right.
They have their own volunteer dinner, they have their
And
own
I think that-
volunteer wall.
And so does the human services.
Right, so this would just be for the town,
And Parks and Rec does it for their own self too.
right?
Okay, so
Yeah,
why don't we
I think
just,
a lot-
why don't we still, Keith, if you can still find out what it would cost for this tree.
Yep.
Just so we have an idea. John, if you can check to see what West Hartford does to, if you can find out what they do to honor outstanding citizens, not necessarily the boards and commissions, but just
Citizens,
people who just gave time. Somebody who's delivered Meals on Wheels for 20 years.
but that's the
Yeah, okay,
senior center.
Well, I know, but it also could be,
Eh,
I think it's something they would do for the town that would, you know, but,
Well, let's see if they know what the criteria is, and then we can tailor it to.
okay.
Because I mean, if everybody does their own thing, we don't want to, you know, take it away from them.
Exactly, because we might honor them and then they're gonna get honored too. I mean, and we could check with other towns in the,
Yep.
can you send something out on listserv for CCM and see what other towns do?
yep, I will take care of that.
That will, I think that'll save a lot of us reaching out to people.
Okay.
Always forget about the CCM.
That's why we pay the money to them.
So what you want to be able to do is recognize certain individuals that have gone beyond, above and beyond for the town of Newington that aren't already recognized by social services or human services or
Right,
senior center or parks. and Rec.
Exactly,
So
yeah.
these would be people that made a big change. in-
correct.
Okay,
Yeah.
gotcha.
Right,
you know
so something significant, not just, you know, I worked at the food bank a couple of days a week.
Right.
For a year.
I mean, do we have anything that memorializes our volunteers of the year?
There is a plaque, yeah,
There is?
there
Where?
is. It
Yeah.
was the main entrance.
For the volunteers of the year?
I know, my name's on it. I always would go in and check my name, still, make sure it's still there.
Hey,
Well,
I
my-
did that, I do that in the Board of Ed room, don't feel bad.
So,
Little grass polish, clean it up.
but mine was always the more polished.
I remember seeing that. Isn't that awful?
It's someplace. Okay, so I think it's a good place to start.
Yeah.
You want to meet next, the last Thursday of February?
Well, let's give them a little bit of time.
Yeah,
Well,
what we'll
before-
do is, let us put everything together and then we'll
And then, yeah,
schedule a meeting.
yeah,
Are Thursday nights at 5:30 good for you guys generally?
yeah, I could do 5 o'clock too.
Okay, so
I
what
can-
we'll do is, once we get our act together,
Yeah,
we'll schedule a meeting on a Thursday at 5 or 5:30. And then hopefully all of you will be available.
okay, that works. And this way too, you're not under the gun, because I know you guys have a lot of other things, especially with the budget coming up. That you have
Lots of
to-
stuff. Did you
Yeah,
guys, have you read your email today?
Yeah, I read it
did.
before you even sent the text out.
Pretty good. I know,
Yeah, very good.
this is a major hurdle, and there's other stuff cooking right now that's even going to be better if it all happens, so. this
And
took
the hotel got passed by TPZ last night,
Yeah,
the
And,
subdivision, so, and I know there's more development going on down there, so, yeah, no,
We've
it's,
had more development in the last year than we've had in 10 years.
yeah, so, no, it's,
We're not
looking,
paying
good.
$90,000 a year for it.
Yeah, looking good.
yeah, this is working out well, but everything could fall apart, so you never know.
Yeah,
I
keep our
know.
fingers crossed.
Yep,
Okay.
Okay,
Sounds
so
good to me. Anything else?
I'm good.
I'm good. Think you need to
Right.
make a motion to adjourn?
Not yet. We still have to do public participation, so just leave it
sorry.
up for about a
We
couple.
got nobody in the public.
No one in the public.
Sorry, I'm excited to get out of here, I guess.
We're going out to, I have a date night, so.
I'm going to
I'm-
Burger King.
I'm going to the NCTV studio.
Ah,
Go ahead.
I'm staying home.
Okay, a motion in order to adjourn is in order.
Second,
All those in favor? Anyone opposed? Okay, we're adjourned.
see ya.
Thanks,
Enjoy,
folks.
folks.
Oh, Keith, one quick thing.
Yeah.
I know what it was too on the TPZ. They weren't